People are calling me and telling me, don't say anything, stay in your lane, be quiet, sit down, you will lose your seat, they won't vote for you. Fight, don't fight. What the f do I have to do in this fucking council in order to get respect as a black woman? And I'm gonna tell you, I am not afraid of losing the votes. I'm not afraid of the seat. I'm not afraid of anybody here.
Several months later.
Austin City Councilor Tania Fernandes Anderson has just been taken into custody.
Here's video from moments ago of the FBI outside a Dorchester home. We told you earlier this week the city councilor is under federal investigation, but neither she nor the city would tell us why. Officials cited the U.S. Attorney's Office, saying the integrity of a grand jury investigation would be impaired by disclosing information.
Fernandes Anderson has represented District 7 since 2021 and has faced several scandals. Last year, the State Ethics Commission found she violated the conflict of interest law by hiring her sister and son and raising their salaries. Fernandes Anderson agreed to pay a $5,000 fine. Just last month, the state Office of Campaign and Political Finance sent her campaign a letter saying it had not timely filed deposit information and had taken contributions over the legal limit. Once again, Boston City Councilor Tania Fernandes Anderson has just been taken into custody by the FBI outside her Dorchester home.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Have I mentioned to you guys that it seems as if the world is healing itself after the election of former President Trump? And stories like this is exactly what I am talking about, okay? As this story involves a woke Boston City Councilor by the name of Miss Tania Fernandes Anderson, who has been arrested on federal public corruption charges, alleging that she orchestrated a quote-unquote complicated kickback scheme to steal city funds, officials said. So we got to talk about this individual, an individual who I actually have talked about before on this channel, because she does not seem to be mentally well. In fact, when I talked about her before, it is because she went on this very deranged racial rant in the middle of a city council meeting. And yeah, I'm not surprised at all that this individual is facing some issues, that she is corrupt. Because like I tell you guys all the time, these Democrats, they love to project everything they accuse everybody else of doing. That's exactly what they're doing.
Be quiet, sit down, you will lose your seat, they won't vote for you. Fight, don't fight. What the do I have to do in this council in order to get respect as a black woman? I'm not afraid of anybody here. When I make a mistake, I will be clear. I don't hate you as a white woman. I don't hate you as a white man. I am sick and tired of this body so stupidly racially divided, so afraid, so depraved. People with no faith because they are afraid of their losing their investment. They're afraid of bargaining. They're afraid of leveraging. These people have, oh my God, I can't even call you cowards because desperation deserves mercy. Here's a redistricting. Fine, we give it to a white woman. Can we all get along? Can we get together? Can we love each other now? Can we make sure that black and brown babies don't die? Can we make sure that cops don't kill before people are proven innocent? Can we do that? No, 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 because this body crucifies you first because of allegations. This is not a court. You don't get to crucify people before they're proven guilty. They're innocent until proven guilty. Amen. Now, after this, I will look forward to working with you because I have stamina. I believe, as Baldwin said, what you do, not what you say. Your votes here sometimes are racist. You move sometimes in a way that hurts my people. And then when I get up to stand up and talk, oh, all she talks about is black stuff.
As you should.
I am here to represent every single black woman and man that suffers in the community. God has my back. I am not afraid to not have political aside or any type of have affiliations or connections.
Wow. Wow. Guys, I think we have a mental health problem in this country. We really do. I don't understand how these buffoons get voted into public office, man. This is a damning indictment on democracy. It really is. Once again, some people are just showing us they do not have what it takes to vote responsibly, right? Because a responsible electorate would not vote anybody like that into office, right? Clearly, she's a deranged individual. I'm pretty sure she ran as a deranged individual. And yeah, this is what you get, okay? So yeah, this woman accuses everybody else of being corrupt. And it turns out that she's actually corrupt herself. So let's get into it.
First, we have team coverage this morning on the arrest of that Boston City councilor on federal corruption charges. NBC 10's Manoj Kwangwari, he's live for us outside City Hall. He's been getting reaction to this morning's news. Manoj, we're going to get to you in just a moment. Let's begin with our Alicia Palumbo. Alicia, good morning. Walk us through these charges.
Good morning, Colton. These are serious felony charges, and Tania Fernandes Anderson is scheduled to make her initial appearance here at federal court to officially face those charges at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Boston City Councilor Tania Fernandes Anderson arrested just after 6 a.m. Friday morning after a federal grand jury indicted the second-term councilor on federal public corruption charges.
It's like deja vu all over again. Another Boston City councilor is accused of embracing a culture of cashing in at the expense of the public good.
The 6 felony charges Fernandes Anderson was indicted on involved wire fraud and theft through an alleged money kickback scheme. Federal prosecutors allege the District 7 councilor hired a relative in a staff position in 2022. This was done after she had already been investigated by the State Ethics Commission and fined $5,000 for hiring 2 immediate family members earlier that year, whom she was forced to terminate. Investigators allege she denied being related to the new staff member and made her staff sign non-disclosure agreements.
She lied to her staff and betrayed her constituents, all while being a strong advocate for increased accountability for public officials.
Federal investigators accused Fernandes Anderson of awarding a bonus to this relative in 2023, who then in turn allegedly gave Fernandes Anderson approximately $7,000 in cash in a City Hall bathroom.
Yeah, so what we have here is a hypocrite, another Democrat Party hypocrite. Again, she is one of these individuals that ran on holding other public officials accountable, but yet look at what she's doing, right? Look at what she's doing. I mean, just a very obvious scam, right? You're hiring your family members, you're paying them taxpayer money, and then you're turning around and having your family members pay you a kickback, right? A kickback with taxpayer funds. One of the most obvious scams that you can run. This woman is just not that intelligent, right? I mean, if you're gonna do something like this, hey, at least do it in a way in which is not so obvious. I don't know, like Fani Willis, right? I mean, this is essentially what Fani Willis did with Nathan Wade, right? She hired Nathan Wade, somebody clearly unqualified to go after Fani Willis's political opponent. Okay, the guy was in over his skis, okay, to be on that case. She pays him hundreds of thousands of taxpayer dollars, and he takes her on trips around the world clapping them cheeks, okay? And Fani Cash Only Willis claims that, well, you know, she paid him back in cash, right? She doesn't have any real evidence that she paid the man back, but, you know, she claims she paid him back in cash. At the very least, there's a certain level of sophistication to that, okay? When it comes to this right here, there's no sophistication whatsoever because this woman is just not smart, right? She's just not very intelligent, which, again, is a reflection on the electorate, the people who actually voted her into office in the first place. Not very intelligent.
Public officials who line their pockets with taxpayer money erode the trust and confidence of the public in the officials who serve them.
Now, investigators say no one else has been charged in connection with this case at this time, but this investigation is ongoing. We're live outside of federal court in Boston. Alicia Palumbo, NBC 10 Boston.
All right, Alicia, thanks for starting us off this morning. As you can imagine, news of Fernandes Anderson's arrest, it is sending shockwaves through City Hall. NBC 10's Manoj Kwangwari is live there with reaction from local lawmakers. Manoj?
Well, Colton, it's important to note that these 6 federal charges are merely allegations at this point. Tania Fernandes Anderson will still have a chance to explain herself in court. But after all of that, if she is found guilty, it will be monumental for a council that just in the last 3 years has seen several members involved in federal crimes.
I was surprised when I saw this morning how serious the allegations are.
Speaking candidly Friday morning, at-large City Council member Erin Murphy reacting.
It's alarming.
After finding out her fellow Boston City Council member Tania Fernandes Anderson now faces 6 federal charges, 5 counts of wire fraud, and 1 count of theft involving federal funds.
If we're using our power for personal gain in any job is not right.
The charges for Fernandes Anderson coming just 1 year after being reelected to the District 7 seat, a position she had been holding since 2021, becoming the first Muslim councilor in Boston's history, the first formerly undocumented immigrant, and the first African immigrant. At the time of these allegations, she holds the vice chair position for the council's Committee on Post-Audit, a committee geared toward accountability and transparency. What should they think of these?
Wow. You can't make this up, bro. You can't make this up. Here we go once again. One of these individuals that is in office to make history. How many times do we have to see these individuals that are in office to make history either be extremely incompetent, right, run the city into the dirt, right, whatever they're governing, okay, is not ran correctly, right, it's a disaster, or they're extremely corrupt every single time. In fact, here's what I'm thinking. I'm starting to think that any one of these individuals that are running to make history, you should just not vote for them just based off that, right? They should be disqualified. Any individual running to make history is automatically disqualified, right? I'm automatically going to be skeptical because the track record of these individuals that are in office to make history is so bad. I just can't trust any of them, right? I can't trust any of these quote unquote historic candidates, right? These individuals that are running on their identity, right? And you should vote for me because I'm going to be the first such and such. Can't trust them. Right? Huge red flag every single time.
Committees, if
the chairs of the committees are breaking the law, I mean, they should be upset, and rightfully so.
Now, the council will not be discussing this matter in any of their upcoming hearings, as this still is an ongoing situation. But it will be a challenge for them to push forward with this hanging over their head. Councilmember Ed Flynn has already stated this will be a distraction. Reporting in Boston, Minaj Kogwari, NBC 10 Boston.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Is anybody surprised? Is anybody surprised at all? I'm not surprised. All I want to know is, where are the charges for Fannie Willis, right? I think the things this woman has been accused of are similar to the allegations against Fannie Willis. When you talk about misusing taxpayer funds, like, for example, we all remember the story about how Fannie Willis, her office, had gotten grant money to start some gang prevention program or something like that. And that ended up not really happening, right? They ended up wasting the money on a bunch of stuff that didn't have anything to do with gang prevention. And then she punished a whistleblower who tried to warn her about the corruption that was happening in her office. So I'm just saying, I want to see some charges like this against Fannie Willis, right? I want to see Fannie Willis actually be held accountable. Again, I like the fact this woman's being held accountable. The only thing I would think of the whole time, I was like, man, how in the world this woman is being held accountable, but not Fannie Willis? Now, again, I guess I already know the answer to that question, is because, again, the level of sophistication with this woman, this Boston City Council woman, was just so low, right? I mean, this is just not a very complicated thing at all. It was extremely simple, very obvious. I think that's why she got busted, right? But again, I want to see others being held accountable, because, again, she's not the only person doing this. She's just the one that got caught, right? She's the one that was so stupid that she couldn't even hide what she was doing in a way to make it at least difficult for the feds to come after her the way that they did, right? So I don't know, but I'm not surprised. All of these woke people, these people that come out here and claim to be fighting for justice and for righteousness and all this other stuff they talk about, man, these are some of the most corrupt individuals on the planet. And here we have another example of exactly what I'm talking about. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.